Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. It's 2:30 and we will now start our info webinar on the PhD course in Sustainable Development and Climate Change. So take your seat and please try to listen to our short presentation and keep note of any questions, any comments you would like to make at the end of this short presentation. My name is Mario Martina. Let me first, start recording. Yeah. So good afternoon. My name is Mario Martina. I'm the coordinator of the PhD. Together here with me are Roberto Buizza, professor at Nana University and also scientific attaché at the Italian Embassy in UK, London, and Marcello Arosio, who is the director of communication of the PhD course. We will spend together approximately 1 hour, 1 hour and a half, and we will split the short presentation into 3 main parts. First, we will describe the PhD course. Second, we will provide to you information about the announcement, the call for applications, the procedure to apply, how you will be evaluated, information about the final rankings. And the third and last part will try to answer to all the questions that you may have about the PhD course and about the selection procedure. So as you see, we are actually in webinar, which means that you are not able to share your screen and to switch on your video, but I can give you the opportunity to talk at the end in the third part, when you will actually make your questions. I'll give you the possibility to open microphone, or if you want, you can use the Q&A button, which is at the bottom line of this platform. The question and answers will be available to you by means of the recording that we will make available on our website, and also we'll try to collect the most generally interesting questions raised by you in a document of frequently asked questions, which we'll upload at the same time on our website. So let me start first giving the floor to Roberto Buizza. Roberto Buizza is the real creator of this PhD. Together with him, I and other colleagues, we tried to design this PhD a couple of years ago, but who really inspired and triggered all this process was Roberto. So it's a pleasure for me to give the floor to him, and it will give you some information background on the PhD. Roberto, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. I cannot start my camera. You need to give me permission, or I just talk.
No. You should be able. Let me.
Unable. No, you have to give me permission.
I have the same problem, Mario. I cannot switch on the
camera. Try now, please, Roberto.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. I'm the host now. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. I just want to tell you a couple of words about why we have designed this course. I mean, the thinking behind it was that as we were doing research and trying to understand how to address issues linked to climate change and sustainability, we realized immediately that because of the complexity of the problem, we needed to work not in one discipline only. I mean, any research, any work done along one discipline only would give a rather limited view of a problem. One could clearly do a lot of very in-depth research in one area, but to be able to contribute to solving the challenges linked to climate change, we thought that best is if everyone working on it had at least some common knowledge. And this is the idea behind this PhD. The PhD, while you will be doing your PhD, you will clearly spend most of your time doing research in your area. Let me say 75% of your education will be in your area, and then your research will be mainly in your area. But we wanted to design the PhD so that at least 25% of your education, mainly say during the first year and then some workshop in the second and third year, you will be working and discussing issues with people with other backgrounds. So the interdisciplinarity of a PhD comes from there. During these events, workshops, teamwork, you will be working in teams that bring together people with different backgrounds: science, economics, agriculture, philosophy, social sciences, politics, medical science. Why? Because if we want to try to understand how to make progress and convince the people, for example, that we need to decarbonize and how to decarbonize, how to decarbonize the transport system, or why we had these extreme weather events in Europe, best is if you address these problems in teams that include people with different backgrounds. In this way, you can find solutions building on the knowledge of the different people. So this is the main difference between this PhD and others, is precisely that. The idea to give you all some courses all together, some events where you will be working all together. And this way you will acquire a language, you will learn how to discuss these issues with people who are not as specialized as you in your field, but who have very deep specializations in other areas. This is fundamental because as I've been working, and Mario have been working, as we have been working to try to address climate change, we realized that the first thing that you need to do is being able to communicate with people with different backgrounds, explain your ideas, your hypotheses, your methodology, explain your results, explain how you are planning to address the problems. And at the same time, you need to be able. So I just wanted to say this to start this meeting. Mario will give you more details, but essentially, the reason why you're here is precisely that this PhD offers you this difference compared to others. So Mario, I give the floor back to you.
Thank you, Roberto. Can you make me again the host? Please go on my name on the three dots and make me host on the participants list.
Okay.
Three dots, make me host.
How can I make you host?
If you go on my name, it should be more.
Yes,
okay.
Here,
yeah.
More, yeah, make host. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And okay, so let's start now with the more interesting part for you probably of the webinar. We will first describe the PhD course, and then the call for applications. The PhD course is, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, okay. So the PhD course, let me give you first some key features. Is a 3-year course entirely in English with 160 hours of lectures, a minimum of 160 hours of lectures, 6 months of research abroad, mandatory, which means that any person who will come here on the 3 years will spend 6 months abroad in one of the institute of universities linked to our a network of more than 50 universities and research institutes already affiliated to the PhD, and more than 150 researchers from these institutes, which are supervisors or co-supervisors of the PhD research topics we are actually doing here. We have 6 curricula in the PhD. All these curricula are interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary, or transdisciplinary, which means that we are trying to go beyond the barrier, the borders of disciplines. This is one important feature of our PhD. The 6 curricula are all linked on the main research topic, which is sustainable development and climate change. The first curricula is on Earth, system, and environment. The second is on socio-economic risk and impacts. The third, technology and territory. The fourth, theories, institutions, and cultures. The fifth, agriculture and forestry. And the last, the sixth, health and ecosystems. So as you can see, there is a common character in each of these curriculum, but they are not strict scientific areas, but more general, a subgroup, a set of our PhD, where all the PhD students and professors, we will try to collaborate together on common challenges and common problems. The last edition, which was exactly 1 year ago, we received more than 600 applications from all over the world. Of course, we received 1/3 of the application from Italy, but 2/3 of applications were from other 82 countries in all over the world, all around the world. In the last edition, the distribution, the number of research scholarships summed to 100, and this is the distribution among the 6 curricula. This year, for this edition, we will have actually 2 announcements. One is open now, and the other will be open in October. And the total number of scholarships that we will call for the application will be 150. The current announcement is for 134. This PhD is also a national PhD program, which means that we have an headquarters, which is in Pavia at USE, and this program involves 52 universities in Italy, universities or research institutes, and these this means that more than 250 people are involved in the organization of this PhD. The headquarters is at USE Pavia, which is also my university. I'm professor at USE. USE stands for Scuola Universitaria Superiore USE di Pavia, which means University for Advanced Study in Pavia. Is an Italian public university devoted to research and higher education, plus more than 50 affiliated universities all over Italy. The course is organized as a network, which means USE is the headquarter providing the coordination of PhD and the administrative services, but each university is actually a host university of the PhD, providing the supervision of the research, the research team and environment, and research resources such as laboratory, libraries, and whatever. The PhD candidate carries out research activities at the host university on one research topic, and all the PhD candidates are enrolled at USE as the administrative headquarter. Is a network because during the PhD, we actually stimulate and organize events which facilitate the linking between the different institutions, and PhD candidates are encouraged to collaborate with colleagues from different universities and from different fields. The structure of the PhD program, we have a common core research topic and 6 curricula. And of course, we have different disciplines which these curricula are made of. We actually have 2 pillars of our PhD course. One is the educational, and the other is the research program. The educational program is organized in 3 dimensions, we can say. One is the horizontal dimension on the main core topic, sustainable development and climate change. And we organize what we call multidisciplinary events to expose all the PhD candidates to the complexity of the sustainability and climate change. This is about 48 hours of training. The second dimension is the vertical dimension along the curricula. Curriculum events are aiming to train PhD candidates on tools and topics common to the scientific curriculum. And the third dimension is what we call focused and disciplinary. Is a selection of thematic and methodological courses suggested by the supervisors and offered by the host university. They sum up to 64 hours in the 3 years of the program. This is a picture of the course available for all students, for all the PhD students, in terms of number of courses, number of hours, and university involved in these in each of these curriculum. Of course, one of the main on the most important thing is that our research is linked, is actually aiming to achieve, to contribute the achievement of one or more of the Sustainable Development Goals of the UN 2030 agenda. Before going to, no, let's go to the second part, sorry, to the call for application. The call for applications that you probably have already seen is still open, and the deadline is the 5th of August at 1 p.m. Central European Standard Time. Please try to translate this time into your local time, and be aware that it will be not possible to upload any documents or to submit your candidate, your proposal, your submission after this time. So 1 p.m. in Europe. You can choose only one curriculum, and you can choose up to 3 research topics. We will go back to these in a minute when we will talk about research the research program, you must submit first a CV, curriculum vitae, second, a research proposal on your first choice of the research topics, third, a letter of purpose on all the choices or all the research topics you have selected, and fourth, depending if you already obtain or not your degree, if you already obtained your degree, you need to upload the degree certificate or the diploma supplement, or if you're still waiting for the to be awarded with your final degree, you need to upload the transcript of all your university exams. Let me go into the details of these 4 documents. The curriculum vitae, it needs to be a short and straight to the point document. The language is in English, maximum 2,000 words. You need to describe your education, qualifications, and training path, the research and work experience, a list of publications, if you have any, and the academic and professional experience. So try to be as much as possible clear and straight to the point, right to the point. The second document is the research proposal. The research proposal is a document in English of a minimum of 1,000 words, a maximum of 2,500 words, which approximately is a minimum of 2 pages, a maximum of 2 pages, on the research topic that have been chosen, that you've been selected as your first preference. It needs to be structured in these 4 main points. One is the 4 main paragraphs. One is an abstract of maximum 250 words. The second is a paragraph on research scope and questions. You need to clarify which is the research scope and the questions. The third, you need to describe your proposed methodology. And at last, you need to describe the expected, what you expect to obtain as results and impacts, okay? Let me clarify that the research topic that we will see in a minute, and all the list of all the research topics, is just a topic, is just an area of the research where you need actually to design a research proposal. That's why we ask you to propose your research within the research topic. If you have questions on these, I will be happy to answer. The letter of purpose. The letter of purpose is a document in English of maximum 500 words, approximately then half page, one page, on the main research topics and the other 2 favorite ones, which means that you have been, if you selected the 3 research topics, you need to refer to all these topics in your letter. The letter will provide the motivations, the interest, the relevant skills, and the relevant experience to the research topics, okay? All these documents will be evaluated by the scientific board, and we'll go there in a minute. The last document is the degree certificate. The language can be in English or sometime in Italian, because Italian institutions, they may probably produce this certification in Italian, and being an Italian institution, we can accept also in Italian just for this document. For Italian degrees, the certificate can also be provided as a self-declaration. So the candidate can just self-declare which degree he obtained. For foreign degrees, we accept one of these options, a degree certificate. a diploma supplement, or in case the degree is not yet obtained, you can upload the transcript of the exams. You also seen that in the platform, we also ask you to write the overall score that you obtain. This will help us to find the score, because sometimes in the certificate, it's not really easy for us to understand the score when talking about different institutions, foreign institutions. So you can probably write the score obtained, and that's much easier for us. The evaluation. The evaluation will be made by a scientific board. So at first, the scientific board will evaluate academic and professional qualifications, will give a maximum score of 20 for the CV and the academic degree or transcript, a maximum of 40 points to the research proposal and the letter of purpose. So these qualifications must have a minimum score of 35 to give you the access to the oral interview. So candidates with the score less than 35 will not be admitted to the oral interview. The oral interview has a maximum score of 40, and in order to actually be admitted to the PhD course, the oral interview must have a minimum score of 25. And third, the scientific board will also evaluate the eligibility for each of the research topics you have actually submitted your proposal. Actually, you can obtain an eligibility or not. So if you selected 3 scholarships, 3 research topics, you can obtain the eligibility for all of them, or for just 1 or 2 of them. The final ranking will appear as I represented here. Imagine that this is the table that we will publish at the end of the evaluation procedure with a overall score. So Miki has a score of 89, Mini of 87, and so on. And then for each of the scholarships of that curriculum, you will have or not the eligibility according to the preference that you express. So in this example, Miki, the first choice of Miki was the scholarship number 01, the second number 03, and the third number 04. And you see Mini instead of as the first choice the scholarship number 5, then number 2, and then number 3. How these scholarship, this final ranking will be used to assign the actual scholarship. We will scroll this ranking first in vertical and then horizontally, which means that at first we'll ask to Miki, given that his first choice is curriculum X, scholarship number 01, this was his first preferable scholarship, will ask to Miki to accept this scholarship. If Miki accepts, then it will be in the program, it will be accepted in the program. Then we'll move to Mini, and we'll ask to Mini to confirm the acceptance of scholarship number 5. Then if Mini says yes, okay, also Mini will be enrolled in the PhD. Then we'll go to Goofy. Goofy, as a first choice, had the scholarship number 01, but unfortunately scholarship number 01 is not anymore available. And for this reason, we will move and go horizontally to the second choice. The second choice is scholarship number 02. If Goofy says yes, well, we will admit Goofy to the PhD. We'll move to Donald. Donald as anymore is preferable as first choice scholarship. Then we will propose to Donald the second choice, which is scholarship number 04. If he accepts, then he will be part of the program. Let's imagine that now we move to Pluto, where he has not anymore the first choice available, but he has the second choice available. We ask to Pluto if he wants to accept the scholarship 03. If he says no, like in this case, well, Pluto is not part of the PhD program, which means in this case, I want to make clear that we will propose to each candidate the first scholarship available in the order of his or her preference. It will not give to him or to her the option to choose between the second and the third option. We will always propose just the best option, okay? This is an important point. So when you make a selection of your scholarship and you make also the order of preference, think that the scholarships will be proposed in that order. It's not possible to have the choice after the final ranking, the multiple choice of different scholarships. Then we move to Scrooge, and Scrooge, unfortunately, his first choice is not anymore available, his second choice is not anymore available, and the third choice is not anymore available. So, unfortunately, Scrooge is out of the PhD. At the end, you see that 4 candidates have been enrolled in the PhD, and of these 5 scholarships, unfortunately, 1 scholarship, which was scholarship number 03, will be not assigned in this call. Before going to the questions, let me finish by sharing our PhD website. So I don't know if you had the chance to go in our PhD website. This is what we call the landing page of our PhD program, because you find here the key numbers, the key information, our values, and probably the most interesting part for you in this moment when you are submitting your proposal is to have information about the curricula and the research topics. If you go in this section, you can find a link to what we call a search engine of all the research topics. You can go here to browse among the different research topics. Here you see each the description of each the research topics. You can use also this simple search engine that you can use to find keywords. For instance, if you want to find the research topics which in their description they have flood as a keyword, you will have as a result a list of these curricula of these research topics. Or you can use these to find, for instance, scholarships hosted at the University of Pavia or at USE Pavia, and here you see the list, or another city, or you would like to see the scholarships provided by a person like me, Mario Martina. You can find your scholarship, and so on. This is just to facilitate your research. But you can also download as a document, as a PDF document, the research program. The research program is a list of all the research topics and the description of the research topics. So if you open one of these, if you open the research program and you go in the table of content, you can open each of these research topics. You will find the scholarship code, which is very important when you submit your proposal, because you need to actually select the scholarship code in your application. You see there is the description in terms of the research topic title, the reference person with his or her email address, and you are free to contact him or her to have more information about these research topics, the host university, some research keywords that will give you an idea of what the research is about, the reference European Research Council sector. This is probably useful, especially in the academic world, to give you coordinates about the main field, the main sector of the research, and one or more goals of the SDG linked to the research. Then you have the description of the research topics, a description of the research team and environment the candidate will work in, the suggested skills for the research topics, so which is the background or other knowledge necessary to do successfully the research, and some obligations, if there are, for that type of scholarships. So in this document, you will find a description of all the research topics which the application is on now. Well, I think that we can now go back to our presentation. I think we can move to the third part of this webinar, questions and answer. You see that on your Zoom platform, you have a button in the bottom part with raise hand. So if you want to make a question, you can raise your hand. In this case, I will give you the possibility to talk. Or if you prefer, you can write the question in the Q&A session. I will scroll some of these questions during this webinar, and we will answer to them. I see there is a request by Yarsh Kumar. So Yarsh Kumar, you can now allow to talk. Yarsh Kumar.
Yeah, hello, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, we hear you.
Yeah, sir. First of all, good afternoon to you from Germany. Last month I completed my master's in renewable energy and energy efficiency. Yeah, and I did my master's. I did my master thesis with Fraunhofer, and currently I'm working for a research institute in the area of smart grids. So I have a question. Like you said that this PhD program is interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary, and transdisciplinary. So my question is this, that when we are talking about the research, we are talking to go narrow deep in a particular topic. So my question is, when we are talking about interdisciplinary and I'm not able to understand, let's see, I am for a electrical and power system background, so I'm not so good in another, say, sustainable economics. And if I want to do something, so do you think that 3 year is able to first I'll learn about the multidisciplinary things, and then I do research. So my question is this. Yeah, yes, sir.
Thank you, Yax. I think it's a very interesting question, and thank you, because this is an important point. It's a challenge to do a multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary, and transdisciplinary research, because as you said, research by definition is go deeper and deeper in a topic. And for this reason, in the academic world, most of the time, this translates into go deeper and deeper in a discipline. While in this PhD course, what we try to do is a problem-solving approach. We have some problems, some scientific questions, which actually needs to be answered regardless of the disciplines which actually we are based on. You are right, 3 years are not enough to acquire all the knowledge to be expert also in another discipline. But this is not our aim. Our aim is not to make you expert in another disciplines, but rather allow people from different disciplines to work together and to try to solve the problem, to answer to the scientific questions together by exchanging information, having a common language such that it's possible to have such a collaboration. So you will probably, during the training courses, train the educational program that we design, to have a piece of information that will allow you to understand, will habilitate you to collaborate with other disciplines, not to be expert. So this is what we mean by interdisciplinary, transdisciplinary, multidisciplinary. You will probably publish papers and do the research in your own disciplines. You will be supervised by your supervisor in one discipline, and you will be focused on one topic, but in a different approach, by also having in mind, be aware of the other implications of the link with other disciplines. So this is what we are trying to do. We are trying to open the barrier and try to contaminate the different disciplines, starting from the knowledge in the disciplines, but be contaminated by other disciplines. Thank you for your question, Alex. I see there are other 3 hands. Ittehad Hussain, please, you can talk now. Ittehad Hussain, you are muted. I see that you are muted. To unmute yourself, you need to press the button in the lower left, corner of the platform. Okay, let me move to the next one then, to Sylvester Egir. Sylvester, you can talk.
Hello, Mario.
Okay, hello.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so I want to find out, you mentioned that you can propose 3 different research topics under one curriculum. So I want to find out, do you have to develop 3 different research proposals, or you develop only one proposal for the application?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sylvester. This is a very relevant question. Yes, the research proposal is a way for us to understand your ability to design a research program, a research plan. Probably the research proposal, the research project will be modified during your PhD. It will not be exactly the same, but this is a good exercise for us as a scientific board to evaluate your scientific capabilities, your scientific experience and skills to propose a research project. Okay, for this reason, being a research project, we ask you to write it on just one research topic, which is your first choice. You know that you have 3 choices in order of preference. The first one will be the research topic on which you need to write your research proposal. It could be that at the end, you will be a scholarship on a different topic will be assigned to you, but doesn't matter because the research proposal we read was necessary, was useful for us to evaluate your skills. Okay, that's why it's not important to have three research proposals. One is enough to understand these skills. Thank you for your question. Of course, if Roberto or Marcello want to add something to what I'm saying, please feel free to intervene. Now I see Rajiv Gupta. Rajiv, please, you can talk. Rajiv? You need to unmute.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah.
For the kind presentation. I think I have a question on the eligibility criteria.
Yeah.
So I have read that there is a requirement of master's level and then there is no age restriction. Can you elaborate on that? For example, I want to apply in the curriculum number 4, theory, institutions and cultures, and I have a deep interest in the philosophical insights which can guide us in the sustainable development. And I have a actually MSc in physics and then PhD in theoretical physics also. But I want to be involved in philosophy because I think it is quite natural to me, and somehow I am always going towards that thing. And please guide me if I can apply for a PhD in philosophy. I am from a theoretical physics background. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Rajiv. Also, this is a very relevant question, and I really thank you. This interesting question. I think these questions, all these questions that you are making are very general and interesting for everybody. And I ask you also to the next attendees to make questions so general, so very well. Yes, as you see in the announcement, there is not a strict requirements for any scholarship. So you could have a background in physics and you could apply for a PhD in philosophy. That's okay. However, my suggestion is, first of all, to read the chapter, the paragraph on suggested skills, because each reference person who actually wrote the research topic and research description tried to give you information about which are the suggested skill and experience which is necessary to have in order to, to conduct the research smoothly without any problem. There could be that in some research topic, they are specific and they require some knowledge, some skills that you might or not have. You need to read it. But in principle, is actually acceptable. Is actually very well, very good if you actually go from a discipline to another. We have in a current edition of the PhD engineers doing research in philosophy, or social scientists doing research in law, or we have economists doing research in engineering modeling. I mean, we have such a mixture of disciplines. This is perfectly good. I'm not saying that it's easy, so please read carefully the suggested skills, because for some research topics, it could be that you need specific knowledge, specific background in order to allow you to collaborate with and to work with your supervisor, okay? So read carefully that section. Thank you, Rajiv. I see Itehad, probably now Itehad can talk. Itehad?
Hello, Professor. Good afternoon.
Yeah.
Professor, my name is Ittihad Hussain and I am from Pakistan.
Yeah.
I have done my MS degree from Southeast University, Nanjing, China. My research topic was wastewater treatment through bioecological processes. Then after my graduation, I got admission in Chinese Academy of Sciences on Kastwas Fellowship. But unfortunately, due to COVID-19, I couldn't continue my study because at that time I traveled to my country. Now I saw this opportunity, so I think this will be best opportunity for me to continue my study. Sir, I would like to continue my research on wastewater treatment. So my question is, sir, do we need any IELTS certificate or any TOEFL like this English proficiency certificate, please?
Okay, thank you. No, English proficiency certificate is not necessary, although English will be evaluated during the interview.
Yes, sir.
As a degree, you need to have an equivalent to a master degree to access
Yes.
to the
Sir,
PhD.
I have already my equivalence degree from Higher Education Department of Pakistan.
Yeah, very well. That's enough. I mean, that allow you to apply for the PhD. Of course,
Sir, I have overall 8 or 10 publication. I have one as the first author and other co-author.
Yeah, it's okay. All the publications, all the CV information will be evaluated. This is a competition, so which means that we'll try to give a score to all these qualifications in order to produce a ranking. So you are perfectly allowed to apply for this PhD, and the best ones will win the competitions. Thank you, Ittihad. So I see now Federico Roscioli. Federico, you can talk.
Here I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, very well.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to talk. I would like to ask a bit more information about the letter of purpose. If should we motivate all the 3 research topics, or only, I mean, general motivation, and how to structure it?
Yeah, thank you, Federico. Thank you. Very relevant question. Okay, so the research proposal, as I said before, is just on one topic. On the other hand, in order to have more information about your motivations, interests, and skills on the other research topics besides the first choice, we give you this opportunity to write the letter of purpose. So motivations and interests can be on all the research topics you applied to. This means that especially when in a curriculum, when you selected topics which are not very similar, but are probably a little bit different one from each other, we will try to find on the letter of purpose the motivations to give you the eligibility also to the other topics, not just the one you wrote the research proposal on. Okay, that is the use we will make of the letter of purpose. As you have seen in the evaluation scheme I projected, the research proposal plus the letter of purpose have a maximum score of 40 over 60 for the first part, the qualification criteria, the assessment of the qualifications. This means that we put a lot of effort and attention to read carefully your research proposal and your letter of purpose to assess if you are able to do that research or the other research you have selected. You will have also the opportunity during the oral interview to talk about your research proposal, to talk about your career. But in order to be admitted to the oral interview, you need to have a minimum score of 35. So I invite all of you to put attention and efforts in preparing very well the research proposal and the research topic according to the guideline I gave to you, to try to be as clear as possible and go straight to the point to what you would like to do during your PhD, to highlight your skills, to clarify which are your interests, your motivations. Okay, so thank you, Federico. Thank you very much. I see now Davide Giannotto.
Hi, do you hear me?
Very well.
Good afternoon to everyone. I have a question on the bureaucracy of the subscription. My question is if it's enough a picture of my certificate of the degree. Okay.
Yes.
So,
yes. If you have an Italian degree,
yeah.
Also self-declaration is allowed.
Okay.
And if you want to upload also the transcript of your exams, that would be useful. And be sure that in your certificate.
Sorry, I have lost. If I can.
Yeah, you can. If you have the transcript of your exams, so the list of all the exams that you did in your career, that could be useful also to see which you know, scientific examination you have already taken, which knowledge you have already, and be sure that in the self-declaration or in your certificate is specify the final score of your degree.
Okay, perfect.
You have also in the form of the platform, you will have a field where you need to write your final score. So for instance, if you took 105 over 110, you need to specify 105/110.
Okay.
In this way, we know which is your final score. The reason we also ask you to write your score out of a number is because the systems are very different among the different universities. There are some universities which the system is with 110, other with 100, other with 5 or with 10. So for instance, there are universities, I'm thinking for instance in Pakistan, when their score is expressed in 5 points. So 4.5 is a good score, and you need to specify 4.5 out of 5, 4.5/5. In this way, we know, you know, the level, the final score.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Davide. Thank you very much. And now, let me see, Azar. Azar, you are allowed to talk. Can you hear me, Azar? Okay, let's move then to another one. I see Angelo Marano. Angelo, please, you can talk.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Very well.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My question is, I listened very carefully to your presentation and I had an overlook in the past days on the website, but I couldn't find information about the 6 months abroad. I wanted to have some more information about it, like if the institutions are chosen by the host institution where I have the host scholarships, and if they're just 6 months, if I can do more. I don't know, something about that. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Angelo. Very relevant question. Okay, so the 6 months abroad is a mandatory period during your 3 years that you need to spend in another university or in another institute abroad Italy. The reason for this is because we believe that during your PhD, you need also to have an experience in another system, apart of the Italian system. You need to link your research with the international community. You need to have the opportunity to know people in the international community. So the 6 months is the minimum duration of this period. The maximum duration is 18 months. So you can be abroad from 6 to 18 months. During this period, your scholarship will be increased of 50%. This is also a support in order to, facilitate the mobility externally to Italy. The host institution is not decided, is not actually fixed a priori, but actually will be discussed and agreed with you during your research period, because according to your research activity, your skills, your project, the supervisor together with you will will identify the best institute, the best university to host you during that period. So if you're doing a research on, for instance, hydrology, you could go, for instance, at Exeter University, because there is a group of people working exactly on your subject. This is the meaning. That's why is not yet specified the university. I hope I answered to your question. Let me give now the floor to Valentino Martello. Valentino, you are allowed to talk.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon.
Hello.
Thanks, Prof. Martina, for the presentation. My question is regarding the interviews, and specifically, will those work on all the preferences we express, and will they take place with the references, with the reference persons for each interview? On how will that work?
If you have the interview with them, sorry, I didn't get your. Or if you can connect to them before the.
Yeah, as well. That I think that is possible. Now the question is, the interview is regarding each preference we express, and will be with the reference persons for each topic. Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. I don't know if it's a problem of Professor Martina. Can you hear me?
Oh, yes, I can.
Yeah, so let's wait a few seconds. Probably he just connected, and then I will.
Okay, connection problem.
Yeah, can you repeat, and I will try to reply. Sorry, I wasn't looking.
Yeah, no problem. So the question was regarding the interviews, which will take place by the end of September on. And I was asking, will those be on all the preferences we express and take place with the reference person for each topic, or how does it work precisely? Thanks.
Yeah, I will. Let's check if Professor Martina is connected again.
I'm here. Can you make me host, please?
Yeah, I don't know if I was the person that. Yeah, I am. So I can make you. Just a second. Senior organizer. Yeah. Okay, now you are the host, Mario.
Okay, I'm sorry for this technical issue.
You were able to listen to the question, otherwise I will recap.
No, can you repeat, please, Marcello?
Yeah, it was about the interview, in particular, if you can explain how it works.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you. Only to one topics, or only the 3 topics that they select.
Yeah, thank you, Valentino, for this question. Okay, the oral interview will be approximately of half an hour, and you will, each commission, we have a scientific board which is divided in 6 different subcommittees, one for each curriculum, and each commission has a minimum of 3 and maximum of 6 members. The oral interview will be on your academic career, on your experience, and on your research proposal. At the interview can also participate experts which means people, most of the time, reference persons of the scholarships, which have a specific knowledge on that scholarship that can also make questions to understand better your research proposal. As I said, the research proposal is just on one research topic, but questions can be made also on the other research topics that you have selected in order to understand if you have the capabilities, the skills, the interest to conduct the research also on the other research topics. When I was showing the final ranking, I wanted to highlight the concrete possibility that you could have a scholarship assigned different from your first choice. Most of the time, you could have the second or the third choice. So when you make the selection, of course, put in order of preference, but be ready also to accept the second or the third choice. I don't know if I answered to your question, Valentino.
Yes, yeah, it's fine. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and sorry again for the technical issue.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, now I see Bina Gimire. Bina, you can talk. Hello, Bina.
Hello, can you hear me?
Very well, very well.
Okay, I'm from Nepal and I have been applying. A few of the documents are already uploaded, and I want to know, while preparing for the proposal, research proposal, is there any restriction on study area, or we are free to choose?
You are free to choose. You are free to choose. There are no restrictions. However, as I said before, please read carefully the suggested skills, but there are not strict requirements. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Bina. While we are talking, I see there are many questions in the Q&A, so please write your questions there. I see that some questions Marcello is trying to answer to. Thank you, Marcello. And in any case, when we end this webinar, we will collect all the questions here, we will organize, and the most frequent questions will be answered in the website. So don't be afraid if we will not be able to go through all the questions, but please write down your questions in the Q&A, and I promise that we will write the answer in the website very soon. So we move now to the other attendees. I see Margherita Bacchero. Margherita Bacchero, please, you can talk now.
Hello, hello, thank you, Mario.
Okay.
I have a few quick questions. So I already started my application, and I felt that the online portal is not that easy to go through. There's a few words in maybe in Italian, of course. So are there any instructions or written, like a written manual that we could follow, maybe to make sure we fill everything correctly?
Yeah, Margherita, you are perfectly right. Unfortunately, I have also to be honest with you. The platform we are using is a very standard and bureaucratic platform that we use as a public administration in Italy. But let me give you this advice. Now I'm copying and paste here a link. In this link, you find the announcement, but you find also the registration walkthrough and the application walkthrough. This is a set of instructions that our colleagues at use, Fabio and Chiara, really try to make available to everybody in order to facilitate the process. Most of the definitions, most of the words you find in the application are more for bureaucratic reason than for scientific reason. So now I'm copying here the PDF document application walkthrough, and let me also open it and share, because I think it's very important to understand. Let me spend a minute just to understand how the document is organized. Yeah, you should be able now to see my screen. Do you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so this is the second document that you will find there, which is the application walkthrough. And there is a screenshot of each step. This is the application with some explanation here at the bottom. You should be able, following this step by step, you see that it gives you, please click on the application. It describes all these steps. I mean, it's a very well structured and prepared documents. And you have two of them. One is the application walkthrough, and the other is the registration walkthrough. The registration walkthrough is to actually register on the website, on the platform. And these explain to you which documents you need to upload, the picture, all the documents that you need, and the other is the application walkthrough. So I think it's very helpful. These two documents are very helpful. So if in any case you have problems or further questions, you know that you can write to our email address, which is, let me write in the chat, phd-sdc@usepavia.it. So this is our email address, the secretary email address. I invite you, before writing, to try to download these two documents and understand the procedure. If not, you can write an email. I'm suggesting this just because there are many questions and email arriving during these days. So it might be that you will receive an answer a little bit slow. I mean, not the same day, but probably the following day or 2 days after. So this is normal given the amount of applications we are receiving. So please, before giving up, try to go through that document that I upload to you. And also you have a phone number, which I will project at the end of this presentation, so you will have them. But before, try to do that on the web. I suggest you to try, because after a couple of problems, the other things are quite easy. Okay,
thank you, Mario. I don't know if it's just me or everyone, but I can't see anything that you wrote down in the chat. It says chat disabled, so I don't know if it's just me.
But do you have the button chat?
Yeah, I have the chat, and it says chat disabled, and I don't see anything that's written there. But maybe it's just me. I don't know if everyone is having the same problem.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. So that's really bad, because I just put the link there. So let's do the following. That in the
I can reply to a question and wrote down the link.
Yeah, probably that's better. Thank you.
Thank you, Marcelo. Yeah, it can be. I can see it now in the question and answers.
No, the link that I put right now is from previous question, was about the document that was showing Mario before. Now I will apply with the link that he just showed.
Okay. However, I will make sure also the link is available on our website. If you go on the website, you will find these two documents, registration walkthrough and application walkthrough, in our website. Okay, Margherita?
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. Can I ask? I had a few things. I would try to be quick.
Yeah.
So I'm a foreigner, and I'm really interested in applying for the PhD. I just want to plan my time. So when you mentioned 6 months abroad, that means if someone is selected, they will be at this main university, and then they will have the 6 months abroad at a different university. And my question also is like, is there a time mandatory to be in Italy, like during the courses? And yeah, just to plan ahead of time. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Margarita. I also think this is relevant to everybody. So let me spend a couple of minutes on this. So you know that the PhD is a program of the duration of 3 years. In general, we try to concentrate all the training courses in the first year, on the first year. The courses are the MD events, which basically are common courses to all the PhD students, and we tend to organize physical events where actually you are invited to participate physically, because that is an opportunity also to meet your colleagues, your PhD, the other PhD candidates, to meet all the supervisors from different university. Basically, it's an opportunity to build the community of the PhD. This year, for instance, for the last edition, we had the first physical PhD MD event, so the multidisciplinary event, last June in Pavia. And the reason we had this event at the end of the year was because COVID. Instead, if it will be possible, we try to organize the first MD event at the beginning of the PhD, like in December or in January. Okay, we will make you available the date as soon as possible. Also, in the first year, you are invited to participate to the CU event, which is the curriculum event. Basically, these events are for candidates of the same curriculum, so 25 candidates. They are also physically events, and they sum to 48 hours of training, which means that it could be that you have just one event in the year for 48 hours, or it could be there are 2 events, one for 24 hours and the other for other 24 hours. So approximately 3 days and 3 days, okay? This is, the decision is on the ends of the CU coordinators, and will be make available to you, we will make available to you the plan with all these dates as soon as possible, probably in October. This is the first year. During the first year, you can probably also attend FD courses, what we call focus and disciplinary courses, which are specific courses on specific topics. And these courses, most of the time, can be attended also remotely on Zoom, for instance. We try to concentrate all the training courses in the first year because we believe that the second and the third year should be dedicated for most of the time to research and to research activities. In these 2 years, first of all, you, even in the first year, actually, in the 3 years of the PhD, you will go around Italy to all the other universities affiliated to the PhD using a budget that we call research and mobility budget, which sum up to 9,000 euro. This is an extra budget, extra with respect of your scholarship, that you can use in order to travel. You can pay your accommodation, you can pay expenses, also you can pay the expenses to publish papers. I mean, it's a budget that you can use for your research activities, 9,000 euro for the 3 years. I was saying that after the first year, which is mostly dedicated to training, you can spend the second and the third year on your research activity. And you need to agree with your supervisor which is the best period to go abroad. Abroad means that you go in another country, not in Italy. So this means that you will spend 6 months not in another university in Italy, but you will spend 6 months, at least 6 months, in another university in Europe, in Africa and Asia, I mean, wherever, but not in Italy. And you can spend these 6 months even in 2 different periods, 3 months plus 3 months. The 6 months is the minimum period that we believe is the minimum period that you need in order to get in touch with the international community. If you or your supervisor think that will be useful, convenient for you to spend more than 6 months abroad, you are allowed to do that up to 18 months, okay? So this is the structure. Did I answer to your question, Margarita?
Yes, thank you very much, Mario.
Okay, okay, very well. Okay, now I see there are many requests to talk. Let me scroll a little bit and go, because I don't see in the order you actually booked your intervention. So let me go to Alexine Elinger. Alexine. Alexine, can you hear us? I see that you are muted yourself, but I cannot hear you. Okay, let's go to Gabi Madate. Gabi or Gabi?
Hi.
Hello?
It's Gabi.
Hello, Gabi.
I'm from Mozambique. I have a background in agronomy and then agricultural economics.
Yeah.
So I'm more inclined to the curriculum 5 in agriculture.
Very well.
However, my background in agriculture is related to Mozambique.
Mm-hmm.
So is it okay if my problem is related to Mozambique, or should I look for problems related to Italy or Europe?
No, absolutely. No, sorry. Let me clarify. When you make your research proposal, unless in the research topic is specified that there is a specific problem related to one country, that could be Italy, France, or an African country, but that is very rare. Unless it's specified so in the research topics, you are actually invited to submit your proposal to any study case, to any country that you believe is interesting for your research. So there are no restrictions in these terms. Just read carefully the research topics description to see if there is a reason why one topic is proposed to one country. For instance, I can imagine, for instance, that if there is a problem related with, I don't know, a climatic problem, I don't know, the snow melting in Iceland, for instance, and because the topics is proposed for that specific country, you need to submit your proposal to that country. But this is very rare, it's very infrequent. Most of the research topics are general, and you can choose your country or another country that you think it's interesting for your research proposal. Thank you, Gabi.
Oh, okay. I have a follow-up question, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and then I don't know if it will be regarding the PhD, how can I say? If it will be the host university that will decide. So if I need to come to Mozambique and collect data, I will have that time to do that, and would that be included in the 6 months research abroad?
Yeah, there are cases also in the current edition where people decided to go back in the original country to collect data, to go in a university to collaborate. We count that as research abroad, okay? Of course, the general purpose of research abroad is to enlarge your network. But if there is a specific need for your research to collect data or to link your research with a specific institution, that is actually a period that will be accounted as research abroad. Okay? Thank you, Gabi. Thank you, Gabi. I see Cecilia Dada. Cecilia? Cecilia, can you hear us? You are muted. Okay, let's move to another one. I see Francois Kiboko. Francois Kiboko.
Yes. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, my name is Francois. Thank you for the word. I'm actually finalizing my master's degree at the University of Brescia.
Yeah.
And I will graduate in October in economics and of a green economy and sustainability.
Very well.
So my question is regarding the period for the assessment for the interviews. It's in September 15th. How am I going to be evaluated since I will not submit my diploma? Because I have actually completed every examinations and I'm just finishing with my thesis work in renewable energy. And I'm interested in doing the PhD in territory and in climate change regarding this topic. So my question was concerning this particular problem of not yet graduated in my master's. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Francois. Also, this is, I think it's a very relevant question for most of you. As I said, we are not asking to have already, to be being graduated already. The graduation, the degree award can be also in the period after your evaluation, after the announcement is closed. Actually, you can be graduated until the PhD course will start. So the beginning of the course now is planned the 1st of December. I'm saying now because it will be very likely that we will postpone a little bit the beginning of the PhD from the 1st of December to the 15th of December for some deadlines related with the second announcement that will open on October. But let's imagine it's the 1st of December, so you can be graduated in October, that's fine. According, so you actually asked, how can I be evaluated if I do not have still my score, my final score? No problem. What you need to do, you make sure you upload the transcript of your exams with the scores of your exams, and we will evaluate the average score of your exams. So if for the degree, we take into consideration the final score. For people without a degree, we will evaluate the average of the scores of the exams. So that's perfect, perfectly fine, no problem. There is no problem if you still do not have your degree and you will just upload the transcript of your exams. Is it clear, Francois? Did I answer to your question? Okay, I don't see any more him, but I hope that that is clear for everybody. Don't be worried about that. You are perfectly fine if your degree is planned in November, that's okay. If you do not have the final score, just make sure that you upload the transcript of your examinations with the scores for each exam. So, Cecilia, can you talk now? Cecilia Dada, I see that you are muted. No. Okay, let's move now to Melissa Donati. Donati. Melissa?
Hello, hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Sorry, Melissa, wait a minute. Cecilia is already here. Cecilia, you can talk now.
Hello, my name is Cecilia from Nigeria. Cecilia Dada.
Hello,
Nigeria.
Cecilia.
My question is, from the document for the scholarship advertisement, I saw that I want to ask for the meaning of reference ERCS. I don't know what the meaning of ERCS is. And I found out that some of those ERCS were just listed like as a code. So I want to know what it is.
Yeah,
so that you can relate it with the research topic of my interest and my background. That's my first question. Then the second question, can I go on?
Yeah, yes, please, go on.
The second question, I want to ask about the scholarship code by the site. In my letter of purpose, do I have to include those scholarship code with the research topic and the reference person in charge of those topic, or I just list the research code with the topic? I want to know how to go about that when writing my letter of interest.
Yeah. So
then the third question, I want to ask everything so that you can answer me at once. The third question, I have a background. My first degree is in zoology, and my second degree was in sustainable development practice. So after going through the document for the scholarship advertisement, my area of interest was on socioeconomic and impact and risk. And I've already selected like 3 research interests that are related to food, because my second degree was mainly on food value chain development. So after going through the suggested skills of each of those research topic advertised, I saw that most of it, the requirements were having a background in economics. So I don't know if not having a background in economics but having an experience and having research and publications related to economics, I don't know if that will be used, or I still have to have a background in economics, because my first degree was in zoology, but my second degree is a multidisciplinary course that cuts across socioeconomic, environmental, and social. So that's what I want to ask. Thank you.
Thank you, Cecilia. Thank you very much for your questions. So let me answer to some of the questions. So what is the ERC? I put a link in the chat. I asked to Marcello if he can put in the question and answers, please. So if you go on Google and you write ERC sectors 2001 or 2022, you will go to this web page. It's called European Research Council, and these are the panel structure for the ERC. Why we use this system? So unfortunately, there is not an international system worldwide that classify all the disciplines. So we are referring to this classification just to give you an idea of the sectors, the scientific sectors the research is connected with. So each code that you find in your, let me open one research topic. For instance, here is written PE10_14. It means that if you go here, PE, we go to 10, 9, 10, 14. 14 is this field, Earth observation from space and remote sensing. It means that your research is actually connected with this research sector. It does not mean that there is a requirement to have a degree in this sector, but this gives you some coordinates, you know, to understand in which field you will probably work. So Cecilia, did I answer to your first question?
Yes.
Okay. Your second question, I think, was relative to the scholarship code, correct?
Yes.
Okay. The scholarship code that you can see here, and you can see also in the research program, you will find in all the documents, because this research code is important to, you take note of this code, you remember this code, and if you want to apply to 3 scholarships, imagine that you want to apply to C1 scholarship 08, 09, and 010, you need to select these codes in the platform of the application. You find a list of the application and you select number 8, 9, and 10, or whatever. So was this your question, Cecilia?
Yes, that was my question. But after selecting in the application websites platform,
yeah,
when I'm writing my letter of purpose, do I have to include those scholarship code again, or I just mentioned the research topic
well,
in my letter of purpose? That's
yeah.
what I want to know.
Yeah, no, it's a good question. Actually, I suggest you to refer to those codes, just to make clear for the research proposal which is the topic you are referring to. So you can write the code or the research title or both. It's okay. And also in the letter of purpose, please mention the 3 research topics you are referring to. You can write down just the codes or the titles or both. This is a good question, and I think it is important to write down these in the letter, in the research proposal. So your third question was about the background, you know? So you are worried because some scholarships, they suggest to have an experience in economics, while probably you do not have an experience in economics. So there is not a strict line. What I mean is the evaluation procedure will go a little bit more into the details, will not just read if you have a degree in economics or not, but it will see all your academic career and background. So it might be that you do not have an economic degree, but in your degree, you have some examinations, some exams, some courses in economy or in statistics or in any subject that was suggested. And the scientific board will evaluate in a positive way also this experience. So don't think this as a strict rule. The suggested skills are suggested. They are not fixed requirements. Okay? Did I answer to your question, Cecilia?
Yes, you've answered my question. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Cecilia. Thank you. So we have time just for 3 more questions. And sorry?
Yeah, Mario, from the chat, I tried to summarize 2 or 3 questions that were repeating. If you have at the end, if you have 5 time, I can suggest you these 3 topics and you reply shortly.
In the chat you wrote?
No, I mean, in the Q&A, they've wrote many times similar questions. So I try to recap. If you like, I can.
Okay, yeah, let's do in this way. First, let me give the floor to Melissa, because Melissa was allowed to talk before and I stopped her because of Cecilia. So Melissa.
Hi, are you hear me?
Yes.
No, thank you very much. Good morning, I'm talking from Brazil. My question is about the research proposal, more specific about the methodology. How deep should I go in the methodology? Because I think this we have to discuss with the coordinator and that's my question.
Yeah, so very good question. So imagine that your research proposal will be read by the reference person, or in any case, a person who is specific of that field. So you can go into the detail if you want to describe the methodology, but not too much. What I mean is that you have at the end 2, 3, 4 pages to describe the research proposal. And we know that when you submit your proposal, you are actually writing a sort of project. It's not actually a report of a research that you already conducted. For this reason, is a trade-off, the level of detail of the methodology. Not too general, because you need to be assessed by the scientific reference in terms of your actually knowledge of the topic and the feasibility of the methodology you're proposing, but you do not have to go too much into the details, because probably the space, the space you have for research proposal is not enough to explain everything. So at the end, you have just 3 pages to write everything. But in any case, you should not be too general, because being too general is at the same time, it does not make the evaluation possible sometimes, because being so general, it is a sign of ignorance sometimes, because you do not actually know if something is feasible or not. So it's a trade-off, okay? It's a trade-off. Imagine that your research proposal will be read by a reference person, the reference person for that topic, or in any case, a person who knows very well that topic, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Melissa. Thank you very much. So, Marcello, what do you suggest? Which are the 3?
Yeah, following this about the research proposal, they were asking if it's possible to insert image or infograph, and if the bibliography is within the maximum number of words allowed.
Yes. Schemes, pictures, figures are very useful. And also references, bibliography, it's very useful. You need to think the 5 pages as a limit, because we have to read many applications. We need to know, to understand also if you are able to write in a clear and right to the point document. So these 2 pieces of information are important, but don't go beyond the limit, the word limit.
Then there is another question about how much time of the 3 years are we expected to be in Italy? The entire time, or depends on the research?
Depends on the research. You can be abroad up to 18 months. So the remaining period you are asked to be in Italy. The minimum period abroad is 6 months. The maximum is 18 months.
Then there were many questions about, since you mentioned that there is a call now and there will be a call in October. So a question was, could they apply to both? Are the topics of the October call already published, or are they different from those present now?
Yeah, okay. So the second announcement will be open in October. Only the scholarships that will not have any candidates in the first announcement will be available also in the second announcement. The remaining scholarship will be new topics, not these ones. And the maximum number of scholarships in total for the next edition will be 150. So last year we had 100. This year we have a little bit more, 150. You can apply to the first announcement if you actually win a scholarship and accept the scholarship. You cannot apply for the following announcement. Instead, if you haven't been awarded already with a scholarship in the first call, you can apply to the second call. Okay.
Yeah. Then the last 2 points. One was about the English. Is English enough for all courses? Because I see that there are requirements for Italian in some of the research topics. So if you can say a few words.
Yes, okay, yeah. Let me specify this, that in the suggested skills for some topics, you can find that one of the skill is Italian. First of all, there are very few research topics with this requirement. The reason is because there are two possible reasons. One is because the research topics is on an Italian case that you need to read Italian documents and things like that. Or the other reason is because some of the scholarships are in partnerships with public or private institutions in Italy, which request the collaboration and the interaction with people who do not speak English, just speak Italian. So there are very, very few topics. I would say 3-4 topics in total over the 134 topics. Scholarships, just 3 or 4 of them request the Italian language. Be aware that Italian language does not mean Italian citizenships, absolutely. What is necessary is just to have a knowledge of the Italian language sufficient to work in those specific cases, which again, I say, there are very, very few scholarships. So our PhD, although is a national-wide PhD, is not an Italian PhD, is an international PhD. The official language of our PhD is in English. All the courses are in English. All the interactions are in English. All the supervisors, they speak English. So no problem at all to apply to this PhD coming from other countries. You are more than welcome. Also Italian students and candidates are welcome. What I mean is that there is no difference between Italian or foreign candidates in this PhD.
Yeah, the last topics is about fresh or not to be fresh graduates. There were different questions, and one I think it's quite general, asking, do you have a preference on candidate where she or he is a fresh grad or already have a significant work experience?
Well, there are pros and cons in being just recently graduated. Of course, if you are recently graduated, probably you have very recent knowledge about your courses. You probably have, you are very close still to the academic world. In any case, there is not any difference in terms of the age. Will be the experience, work experience, professional or academic experience will be evaluated. So all the experience, the academic and the work experience can be assessed in a very carefully. I would say there are no reasons to privilege the fresh graduated or the opposite. It depends. It depends on your career and on your curriculum.
Thanks. That was, I think those points were coming many times, so that's the reason.
Okay. So I know there are many others hands raised. I'm sorry, but we run out of time. However, I invite you to write your questions in the Q&A. I see there are more than 76 questions. I hope that most of the questions have been already answered. For those questions that were frequently asked, we try to make available the answers in our website. Let me project the last slide of my presentation, where I reported the contacts information. So in the order, I suggest you to be in touch, first visit the website www.phd-sdc.it. SDC stands for Sustainable Development Climate Change, and is very similar to the sound SDG as the goals of the ONU, the UN agenda. So www.phd-sdc.it. Here in the website, you find also the link for the call for application to the platform. The email is phd-sdc@uspavia.it, where we have people will answer to you, Fabio Negri, Chiara Mussi, which actually I thank for their important contribution. And we have a phone number, +39 0382 375 860. I suggest you to first go on the website. In case you do not find the information that you are looking for, you write an email, and in case the email it's late, arriving late, then go on the phone. I'm suggesting this because of the large number of applications or people that in any case would like to apply. I don't want to delay your application for this burden. So I really thank you. This webinar will be available on our website, the registration of this webinar. The webinar has been also streamed in YouTube, and there is a channel of our YouTube. This video will be uploaded in the channel, in the YouTube channel of the PhD. I thank again Roberto Buizza for his contribution today, and Marcello. Thank you very much. Roberto, do you want to say something?
No, I just want to say that the first year is working well. I mean, we have the students seem to us very happy. We had very good multidisciplinary events already organized and curricular events. So far, everything looks good, as messy as reality is.
Yes.
Which means that we hope that we will all learn from each other on how to make progress. Unfortunately, reality is messy, and we have to deal with a messy reality and try to understand how to make it understandable and make progress. So this is how life is. Back to you, Mario.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Roberto. And Marcello, do you want something? Do you want to say something?
Yeah, just to, maybe I would like to remark one point. Don't wait last day to submit. I mean, start to open as soon as possible the application. Go try to register, open, check, look how it's work. It's for foreigner, we know that cannot be so easy. So take time to have a look, to prepare your document, and plan to not submit the last days, because as you know, you can get some issues, and it's always better to conclude the submission some days before. So start as soon as possible to look the platform and submit not the last day, in order to avoid the last problem. Yeah.
Thank you, Marcello. Thank you very much. And remember that we are here to help you. You are more than welcome to write us and to visit our website, or also all the social website, all the social sites, the social channel that we open. Thank you again, and I hope to see you in Pavia next year.